Hi, it's Friday afternoon, and I just wanted to pop in and say hello one more time this week so I get into the practice of saying hi a couple of times a week. And I also wanted to let you know that my book, Blood Brothers, is now available on my website. My publisher went out of business last fall, and so I've been in between rewriting it. And in the meantime, I have made it available in its original version as a PDF on my website, which is lisasolisdelong.com. It's lisasolisdelong.com. And if you hit the Discover button, you can be linked directly to Blood Brothers and go ahead and buy it. So I'm pretty excited about it because I've I experienced my first purchase the other day, and it's starting to happen, and so that's a good feeling for me. Um, Blood Brothers is required reading now at our local junior college for nurses, and that makes me proud. And I've met so many wonderful student nurses who have read it and been helped by it, and it's just a great feeling to think that all of this life experience is being useful to others. And that's really why I'm here doing these videos. I've been traveling all over the country and in Canada sharing my story, mostly to healthcare professionals, and very often, especially recently, I've been greeted by people or approached by people after I present that come up to me and say that they are healed, that the message really healed them, and that is so meaningful to me. That's why I live and breathe. And so I'm going to share a little bit of little snippets of what I share on stage with you along the way on these videos, and that way you can hopefully glean some healing for your life as well. And also, I would love to hear from you if you have any questions about what it's been like to raise two sons with cancer, anything about my spiritual experiences, which I share in the book. Anything at all, just feel free to ask me here on Facebook. I'd love to have some interaction with you. Um, so really, when I think back of of my life, and at this point, at midlife, is it seems like that's when we do a lot of this reflecting. I think all of us do. Like, where have I been? Where am I going? And when I think about the beginning, when Justin first came into my life, and my first baby, and I was holding him in my arms, I remember it was a kind of a textbook delivery, and I was a mother baby nurse by then, a brand new at everything, and but when it was me having my own kid, I really, I remember the moment when I was alone with him, and there was no one else in the room, and I was just holding him and feeling his breath for the first time, and as a nurse, understanding the whole process of what what that's like for the lungs to go from being full of liquid to being pressured and becoming filled with air. And I was just pondering all of that as I was holding him, and I remember having this sense of sorrow, like it was kind of an overwhelming feeling, like something tragic was going to happen to him. And I remember kind of talking myself out of it, like, and wondering, do all moms have moments like this? Is this like a thing that we're aware of because everyone's born and everyone dies, and that's kind of a universal understanding? And I really didn't know, but as his life played out is when I remembered that moment. And when Justin was diagnosed when he was 5 years old, and he had his first bone marrow aspiration without any anesthesia, and I had stood by the phone and waited for the results of that bone marrow test. And he was playing a game called Mario Brothers, which now is, mainstream. Mario's everywhere. But back then in 1990, it was a novelty. And he was sitting there on the floor, and he was, pressing the controllers with his hands and just pushing the little buttons, and his eyes were just fixed on the TV screen. And he and the family had gathered because we were waiting for those results, and the phone rang, um, and I remember looking at Justin, and one of the things he had learned was how to catch the little turtle at the base of the staircase of the game. So if you catch it just right, it kind of goes back and forth like a ping pong ball, so that you can get more lives and more playing time. So he was so enthused about the game, and the phone rang, And I kept staring at Justin because I couldn't see, I just couldn't see a difference in him. I couldn't see what this illness was. My eyes weren't trained to see the illness. And I picked up the phone, and the pediatrician said that Justin had acute lymphoblastic leukemia, the most common kind of childhood cancer. And I remember hanging up the phone and staring at him still, and he was just still playing. And then all of a sudden he jumped up and he said, "Mommy, Mommy, I did it. I trapped the turtle. Now I have 100 lives." And in that moment, there's nothing I would have wanted to be more true than for there to be some kind of a button to push, something that we could guarantee that he had more life. But in reality, I know and you know, we only have one lifetime in this body. And the next day, Dave and I were driving down the Hollywood Freeway down to Children's Hospital LA with our little 5-year-old son in the back seat on our way to embark on life as the parents of a child with cancer. We were 29 years old. Jessica, our daughter, was only 2 years old at the time. And really, when life comes at you that way, your whole focus changes, and you start learning about a whole lot of new things about yourself, about your inner strength, about your faith, about your beliefs, all of those things. And so that's what these videos are going to be about. These little stories that will hopefully be of service to you in some way to help you with the discoveries in your own life and the things that you're learning as you go through life. So I will share the next phase of that experience in another video. And in the meantime, let me know if you have any questions. Please, send me messages here on Facebook. I love that, and I'll be happy to answer questions if you have them. And do check out Blood Brothers. It's an important read, and I'd love to see it shared more. So again, my website is lisasolisdelong.com, and check it out. Thank you for watching, and I'll be back a couple of times next week. All right. Have a good weekend.